welcome to Monday morning, our success strategies. Today, we're going to talk about quick wins and the importance of them for long-term success. First of all, for long-term success, let's peel that onion back. Answer in the chat if you can, if you're not driving. What do you know what success is for you? Do you know what that means for you? And if you're unable to type in the chat, maybe make a note later or make a mental note and write it down later. But what does success mean for you? Because I think until we have that defined, we got an unmuter. Until we have that defined, we don't even know what winning means, right? We can't create things that we want to win for. We can't create those goals. We can't create those measurable steps to get to those things if we don't know what success looks like for us. Does that make sense? Like, we have to know what when we get to that. I think everybody thinks that success too is this thing that you get there and then you're there. And I believe it's really an ever evolving thing. And what success meant to me 5 years ago, 7 years ago is completely different than what success means to me today. And part of the reason that I can look at it that way is that I had a lot of small and big, quick wins and longer wins along the way to then achieve what I saw on that success list, and then be able to go and do more and stack more, right? So what 7 years ago, let's say 7.5 years ago, we didn't even live in this house. We had just started a career in our second network marketing company. I was pretty certain about where that was headed and the success it was going to bring. And so I had an ideal idea in my head, an ideal lifestyle I wanted to live and what success meant at that point. Man, has it ever evolved since then? What I deemed successful at, I'm terrible at math. What's 46 minus 7? 39. What I deemed successful at 38, 39, and what I deem successful now at 46 is totally different. And that's okay. Some of that is attributed to having those small, quick wins and some of those wins along the way so that we can stack those up and we can learn along the way what success really means to us. So I really want you guys to first write down or make a mental note if you're in the car listening. I still appreciate you hopping on. If you're unable to put it in the chat, that's okay. But I want you to have a really good, clear picture of what success means to you. And next week, I believe it's my next week, I'm going to really cover some of your core values and what are you for? There is a book that I'm going to recommend next week that is all about that. And man, it is good. There's another book I'm going to recommend for today that I recommended a bunch of times. And when I recommend these books, you guys, I was thinking about this morning, I'm like, I throw a book out them every single week. I don't expect that you're going to go and grab every single book and read those in a week. Okay. I don't want you to stack up a bunch of books that you don't read. I also don't want you to over personal develop and all you do is read. I want you to take action with some of the things that we talk about. So the book that first of all, I've recommended this so many times in the past. I have to know if anybody has actually read it or listened to it. I personally love it on Audible to listen to it, which I do most books, but I can't even hold it up for you because the screen thing, right? It just doesn't even work. It's called Born to Win, and it is by Zig Ziglar. And the Audible of it is incredible because he reads it. And he's just an incredibly inspiring and motivational guy, right? But it is seriously all time one of the very best books on creating winning and the winning attitude and the mental attitude that you need for winning and the preparing of winning that you need. It is one of the best books I have ever read. And I think I have listened to the book fully probably 3 or 4 times. I go back to it and reference it all the time, like I did for this morning. I went to some of my favorite chapters and just had him feed my brain. And I was like, you know what? It's so good. I got to start this book over again and from, start to finish and listen to it because it is so good. I promise you it will fire you up. Can you just tell me in the chat, have you read it or not read it? You can say yes, or you can say no. It's okay. I don't expect you to go out and grab every single book that I always recommend. This is one that I would put, if you're in our 21-day challenge in the app, it is recommended in there too, in the personal development section. And in the personal development section, you're actually asked to fill out a sheet in your homework to list all of the things all the books that you're going to read throughout this coming year. So if you have that list ready when you get to that day, I would highly recommend, I want to show you the book. There we go. It made me disappear. If you believe me, if you believe what I'm telling you, that this is a really good book, put that on one of your 12 books for the year. Or if you've got 24 books for the year, put it on one of your, for the 24 books that you're going to read this year. I hope you have a goal set on your personal development. If you don't, well, I highly recommend that you do some work on that. So first of all, know what success is. Learn a little bit more about winning. In his book, and I'm not going to spend all my time on this book, but in his book, Born to Win, you first have to want to win. There has to be passion and desire there to want to win. So I'm kind of creating this system for when I'm coaching people. And a lot of you guys know that if you were with us back in December, I went hardcore on finding your superpowers. And I made it something kitschy and silly for the name of it, because I really wanted it to stick in people's brains, right? I don't know, your brand, your niche, whatever. I wanted you to find your superpowers. I wanted you to find what you're good at, because when it comes to winning, all of this dials in together. It all connects. It all connects. You have to want to win. You have to have a passion and a desire to win. It is part of the formula. It is absolutely necessary. And if you are doing something in your life that does not make you jump out of bed in the morning, if you're trying to create a business that is not resonating with your, I see you, Kathleen, I owe you an answer on something, and I promise you it's on my to-do list today. I promise you. I just saw your happy face pop on here and I was like, oh, I owe her something. And it has to do with our superpower list, because Kathleen's doing the work. She's doing the work on digging in and making sure she has that figured out, because I think she knows and believes that in order to win this year, she's got to be super passionate and have her brand, her superpowers figured out, so that she can jump out of bed every morning and know exactly what she's going to crush, because she's got to plan to win. She's got to expect to win, and she's got to prepare to win. We all do. So we've got to be passionate and have the desire about what we're working on every day. And that definitely goes back to why I wanted to start foundationally before we even headed into this new year, about what is your superpower? What are the things that you're innately good at, that you want to do, that you want to win at, so that when you wake up in the morning, there is that passion and that desire to win again today. Because there's going to be bad days. There's going to be days where it's ugly. Who wants to get up and be passionate and desire to do work on something and have small, quick wins on something that is like bleh to them? Oh, Erin Jarrell is on my morning Zoom. Welcome back, Erin Jarrell. My heart just skipped a beat. I hope she heard all of that. Okay. So I'm just going to say that our tried and true Lions last night planned to win. They prepared to win. They expected to win, even though they got the rug pulled out from underneath them the game prior. They still went out and won the game, because they planned, they prepared, and they expected to win that game. It was an important one. Okay. There's nothing better than feeling the excitement of achievement. Am I right? Like when you actually hit a rank, crush a new goal, something that's so important that you had on that list, there is nothing better than that feeling of achievement. Small or large, big or little, it doesn't matter. The satisfaction that we experience after achieving something that we deeply care about is incredible. It's unlike any other emotion you can feel in your body. I'm not saying it's the most important one. It's just unlike any other emotion you can feel in your body. It says it feeds the ego, which ego, when I say that, I try to always like star it, hashtag it, whatever, check it. Ego is not always a bad thing. You can use your ego in a way that is a good thing. When we hear the word ego, sometimes we think that it's a bad thing, and it's attached to like egocentrical people, or people are so worried about their ego. No, ego can be a good thing. So those small, quick wins, those big wins, those achievements, they give that ego a burst of it will increase your confidence level. It makes you believe that you can go out and do more. I had an old upline once that told me, and I try to remember this lesson and keep it with me all the time. And if you're in sales, you may have heard this before. And if you haven't, tuck this little note in your back pocket, because it's a good one. And just, transparently, she didn't really have that many good ones, but she did have this good one. Okay. So She said, and I don't remember who taught her this. It was her mom, somebody in her past that said, don't ever go home for the day until you've had a win at the end. If you're doing sales call, and it was always go home at the end of the day, because it used to be, you know, you'd knock on doors, you'd pick up the phone, you'd make calls, right? But however you do your recruitment, your reach outs, your prospecting, whatever you want to call it, however you do your sales calls, don't ever leave the day closed up on a bad note. It's almost like don't go to bed angry, right? With your significant other. It's the same thing in business. Don't go home on a bad call, because what's going to happen if you do that? Are you going to celebrate all night? No, you're going to sit there and think about and dwell in all of the things that you did wrong during that last call, reach out, live, what training, whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to sit there and you're going to think about it and overthink it and wonder what you did wrong. So instead of ever doing that to yourself, don't stop until the last call is a win. I thought that was one of the best pieces of advice. Have I taken it all the time? No, because sometimes those losses will punch us in the gut, and all we want to do is go home and curl up in a ball and grab a glass of wine, right? However you unwind. So if you can keep that train of thought when you're out there doing your prospecting, your recruiting, your sales calls, your hard reach outs, because we're going to get a lot of no's along the way. We're going to get a lot of sometimes things people say are hurtful. Don't end your day on that bad note. That is not going to be productive in a quick win scenario. Okay. In network marketing, there's even a theory about, and I don't have I went to go look for it yesterday and then I forgot. There's an actual percentage and I just never found it. But in network marketing, there's a theory about helping your newest teammate even make $1 in their first 30 days. This is beyond their expense of getting started in the business. Okay. So if they can net positive at least $1 in their first 30 days of their business, the percentage of the percentage of them sticking with it and continuing on to continuing more wins drastically increases. I'm talking by it's like over 70% or 80%, somewhere up there. I'll have to go find the figure for you guys. I just didn't get time to do that, but it is, it's tried and true and tested. If you can help someone at least make a dollar in their first 30 days in network marketing, their buy-in now drastically increases. You have to remember that a lot of these people have never owned a business before, never done sales before, don't know exactly what to expect, but it was a small, quick win. And I say in 30 days is kind of a long time. I would say that knowing what I know in network marketing and this microwave society now, I wouldn't say this was true in network marketing 10 plus years ago, but it is now. That dollar probably needs to get earned faster than 30 days because people are getting burnout faster than 30 days because they just have this microwave mentality that if they don't reach the top of the pyramid scheme that they didn't want to get into because they don't like pyramid schemes, if they don't reach the top of that overnight, then they quit on you, right? This side note, I always laugh about people who ask about pyramid schemes are the same people that actually want the pyramid scheme, because when they finally do get involved, they expect it to be an overnight success, which would be a pyramid scheme. Okay, so why are quick wins so important? Think about any project or any goal that you set in your business, longer term task, business building. If you win quickly, if you set yourself up to win quickly, you're way more interested and excited to keep moving forward. Am I right? Like no one wants to lose all the time. This is why people quit in network marketing, because they have not experienced enough wins fast enough to stick with it, because we are in a microwave society. People do want easy money. They do think that it should be easier than it is. They did have someone sell them the wrong way a lot of times. So any project or business that we're going to get started, I don't care if you're network marketing or you're a traditional business owner. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If we can create a way for you to win quickly in those businesses, you will stick with it and you will duplicate that model to the people that come on with you. So if you don't have that system in place yet for yourself, I'm not even talking about for your team or your employees or your staff or your sales force. I'm talking about for you. Do you have, and you please put in the chat, do you have a system for creating quick wins? And it's okay if you say, I don't know how. It's totally okay. I just want to know if anybody has a system in place. And that wouldn't necessarily expect you to either. I just am curious. Kristen, Verizon had this book for sale, the Born to Win. It is the best, literally the best. You get, and I like urge all of you guys to get it on Audible just because he's so fun to listen to. And you'll be like, if you start your morning every day with that book for a while, you will have no choice but to go out there and win. Okay. So I got 2 answers, not real. Okay. 3, not answer. No, I don't have a system. Not really. I do have a system and I try to use it in all of my businesses. Kristen, you've been in sales for most of your entire adult life. So that does not surprise me. But I know that most people around here started in network marketing as a side hustle. Jill, I listened to your video this morning and I loved it. So most people started in network marketing as a side hustle. They didn't start with a business degree or a marketing degree or a social media. Do they even have social media degrees yet? Has our colleges and universities gotten with it yet? Sydney's going to become the professor. So most people start that as a side hustle. They don't have actual training like Kristen Scott does in sales. They don't have a business degree like I do or a marketing degree. They don't have a huge track record of success in a network marketing business. So to have a system in place like that isn't necessarily something somebody would think about. That's why you're here. So we can help you think about those things, right? I want you to make, I want to help you create a winning system for yourself so that then you can go and duplicate that with your team. Okay. So there is, I'll come back to a couple more notes that I had on deciding or how to win more. But we created this 21-day challenge for a reason. So a lot of you know that a mentor, a coach, somebody I've worked with for a number of years, Danelle, I know that you wouldn't know this necessarily unless you've done some training and coaching with her. She has an entire program on, it's called Win on Repeat. And I never really thought about the meaning of it when she created that a number of years ago, until her and I had a conversation about it more recently, because I was talking about creating these 21-day challenges, and not for any other reason that Sydney and I knew we were teaching good material. And we're getting on Mondays and Wednesday mornings, but it's not interactive. We're almost just recording these and training people. And then, we send you off sometimes with some to-do lists and some things to get done and some homework and things that you can implement into your businesses to help you win. But we don't see the other side of your success with it necessarily. Sometimes we do if you're on our team, and sometimes we don't. And we don't know if we're not seeing success. We don't know if you're actually putting in the work. So that was really the reasoning behind creating the 21-day challenges. Now, there are a lot of work to put together, and we put them in an app so it was easy for you guys to do. I hope that if anybody subscribed to that, and I know this is something way newer, so some people were still like looking at it and trying to wrap their head around it. It will be the 21 days challenge for January is all about the foundation building blocks of your business. That will be open for anybody to enroll in until the end of January. Then it will shut off. Anybody who is in it will always have access to it, but it will shut off at the end of January. I'm telling you why we created it is because there's accountability in there. We're still working out some things. I know we're trying to get homework posted in those community chats. I want to make sure everybody can see those. That's on my to-do list this week too. But there's a reason there's a method to our madness for doing that. When I started to create that, I had a conversation with Danelle and she's like, win on repeat. And I was like, yeah, your program. She's like, no, win on repeat. You're creating the same type of mentality, win on repeat. We want people to win on repeat over and over and over and over and over and over, because if we don't help them create little small wins along the way continuously, they burn out, they quit, they don't see value in it anymore. But I will reel you all the way back to remembering you have got to figure out what your superpower is first. You have got to figure out what you're super passionate about, or this will turn into a job, whatever it is that you're working on. This will turn into a job just like everything else in the world. Is really FedEx pulled up right now? Pause for un momento. I'm so sorry. I haven't had that happen in a really long time this early in the morning. They're on it this morning. I guess the holiday rush is out of the way. Okay, I kind of lost track of what I was saying. Let me go back to how we can win more, okay? Because I want to make sure that I get through those things. First of all, you have to decide you're going to win. And that is part of the Born to Win book by Zig Ziglar. You have to decide you're going to win. You have to get passionate. That's what I was talking about, is finding your superpower. You have to be passionate about what you're going to do. And then you have to decide that you want to win. You have to decide. Because a lot of times people are getting into these things and doing, and I won't say you're not doing the work, but I don't think that you've decided what success means to you yet, or really sat down and taken the time to do it and figure out what that looks like. We can have a list of goals all we want, but we need to have that idea of what success looks like. So then we can say, all right, how am I going to get to that success? What's my path? My path is ABC. I want to do this because I'm super passionate about it. It's what makes me jump out of bed in the morning. I'm really good at it. This is what people always come to me for. I want to create a business around this because I'm going to live in it. And then you have to decide that you want to win at it, like win-win. And we have to start creating a list of things. I'm talking, when I say small wins, I'm talking small wins every day, which means don't go to bed angry, that theory. It means don't end your last call of the day on a negative note, on a no. If you've got to figure out something that you do at the end of the day because you keep getting no after no after no, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get a yes. You've got to figure out something else to put in that spot at the end of the day. You got to figure out something to put in that spot at the end of the day. What I have figured out for myself, and this is in the 21-day challenge, and it is something I'm going to talk about repeatedly because I started it back in October. I created the template for it, and I am crushing my days because of it. Okay. So it is my template on Trello. It is a to-do list that I work off of 7 days a week. My whole life is on this. It's not a schedule. It is things I want to get done. They are not on sticky notes. They are not on notebooks that I lose. They are not all over the place. It's on an app that's on my phone. It's on a computer. It's a program. It's super easy. It is free. And I literally open that up 17 times a day now because I'm adding stuff to it. When a thought comes in my brain, I can use the quadrant system. Joey and I talked about this on Saturday when we met. I can use my quadrant system: urgent, important, not important, not urgent. Like, I can filter the things so fast now. Does it need to be done now? Does this phone call need to happen now? Well, here's the thing. I'm so busy, and I have this year is absolute domination for me. I've already decided I'm going to win like hell this year. Like, I am going to win like crazy. So I have to put in a lot of time. If I'm going to put in a lot of time, that means there's going to be a lot on my to-do list, right? That means a lot of phone calls coming at me, a lot of things that can get me off track, a lot of tasks to complete every single day. So I got to move those tasks extremely fast to my to-do list throughout the week, so that I don't get caught up on things that aren't urgent and aren't important right at this moment. And but I also won't forget to do them. I will write it on a sticky note. That system doesn't work. Trust me. Here's the other thing about the system that I started to figure out. There is something about our brains that loves checking things off or crossing things out. Am I right? It is a small, quick win multiple times a day. This to-do list template that I have has me winning every single day, because I can look at the end of the day and see all of the things I accomplished that were super important to get me to the next level on whatever project I'm working on. One other thing I like about it is I put at the very beginning of it, at the very beginning of every week, there's an overall list. Like, what do I want to make sure I accomplished this week? And it's not going to be the small tasks, right? It's going to be the overall on 4 different business projects. What do I want to make sure happens this week? At the end of the week, I need to make sure I'm getting to here. And then I also have one for the month. So when January started, I put my 4 big main things that I'm working on that. And I listed out where do I want to be at for those by the end of the month. This is called my winning system. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'm telling you, it will make you win, because it has all the elements to quick, small wins and crushing a to-do list and staying organized, all wrapped into one. So at the end of this past week, I didn't look at, and I won't let myself, because it's almost like opening a present on Christmas morning. I won't let myself look at my overview of the week to see how I'm doing until I get to Saturday night or Sunday morning. My week restarts on Sunday. So when I go back in there and I look at it, I can be like, how good did I do for the week? And when I can cross off all those things because I crushed it all, do you know how good I feel about starting back up on Monday morning for the next whole round? Sunday's kind of a planning day. Actually, I worked all day yesterday after church. I just have to be honest with you. I told you this is going to be 365 days of winning. I'm like, if you want to win, stick around, because it's going to be 365 days of winning around here. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to crush so many things this year because I know I'm capable of doing it. That's the kind of mentality you have to have about whatever it is that you're going in to go do. And then you will get out of that rut and you will get out of that loser mentality and into the winning mentality. If you're in a business and sitting in that, man, I've just been at this for so long and I can't seem to get to the next. I can't seem to get to the next. Something's wrong, you guys. Something is wrong. Plan, do, review. What is wrong? Do you have a winning system? Do you have a way to reward yourself? Here's another tip on how to win more. Do you have a reward system set in place? You can answer me in the chat if you want to. Do you have a reward system set in place? Because if you don't have a system set in place, you probably don't have a reward system set in place, right? If we want small, quick wins, we have to have a reason to reward ourselves. So here's one that Jessica loves. She loves to get a 90-minute massage. I prefer them once a week. I used to do that. I paused on that. It was getting a little bit too much for my schedule, right? Can't really win when I'm on the massage table for that long every week. So I just totally stopped for like 2 years, even at all. So when I set up my system this year for winning, I also set up my reward system, and that reward system includes me getting a 90-minute massage every other week, as long as I crush my to-do list. And at the end of the week, on most weeks, I'm measuring and I'm winning. Winning to me on that means I'm accomplishing the things. And at the end of those weeks, when I review the week, I crossed off most of those things. So our brain likes the check marks and the cross offs. And in Trello, the template I created does both on your to-do list. It checks, you go and you click it and it checks off. And I know it sounds so silly, but your brain will love you for it. And it crosses it out. You did it. It also measures along your list what percentage, there's a little line that fills up, what percentage of that to-do list did you get done? And I'm telling you, put stuff on that to-do list like I've got on there every day. My gratitude, workout, Bible time, like I have small things on there too. I'm not talking about just giant tasks. I'm talking about things I don't want to forget to do, because at the end of the day, if I haven't spent the time to fill out my gratitude journal or spent the time to read my chapter in the Bible, I want to make sure that I go back and do it. And sometimes I need those reminders because my days are getting so busy, but I have goals and I want to achieve those. So I have to keep going after it. All right, we're at 9:30. I want to run through the rest of this list just really quick. Stop comparing, not to other people, also other people, because the comparison is the thief of all joy, right? But stop comparing where, compare where you've come, not where you are yet to be, if that makes sense. Right? We're always thinking about the future, and we should be, but let's stop comparing ourselves to out there. We're not there yet. Let's worry about today. How about in Alcoholics Anonymous? They tell you to worry about one day at a time, right? Well, what are you doing today? What are you going to do today? That's why I have that to-do list. That's why I make sure I'm in there every single day. And I'm telling you, if I could show somebody what I've accomplished in the last 90 days because of this system, people's minds would be blown. Like I can't even, because people will be like, all right, Jessica, you need to stop working so much, which is probably true. Another one, celebrate. So create your reward system. Have an accountability partner. I don't know how many times I'll say that. If you don't have your accountability partner, you still need to find that person. That's also part of the 21-day challenge. You may find that person right in that 21-day challenge. Okay. Build evidence-based momentum for your future. Belief can be powerful. So evidence is even stronger. If you can create evidence of winning continuously, how about out on social media? Creating evidence of winning on social media attracts more winners, right? So go out and win so you can create the evidence for it and show other people that you're capable of winning because they're following you and watching you. Create yourself a tracking system, create and crush a to-do list, creating yourself a reward system. These are all already things that I talked about. Oh, last but not least, who's in your circle? I talk about this all the time. Are the people in your circle clapping and shouting and cheering you on when you win? Are they helping you create a lifestyle that is conducive to? I'll tell you what, I have surrounded myself with the right people because no one complains that I work on Sundays after church until 9 o'clock at night. Not my husband, not my kid, not my friends. The question we were leaving church yesterday, Haas says, what are you guys doing today? I was like, well, going home to eat some lunch, then I'm probably going to work for the rest of the day. He just smiled and laughed. Like, no one is getting in my way or getting in my head. Figure out who your circle is and make sure they're cheering on your goals. If this is your year, if 2023 is your year to go out and crush it, make sure the people you're surrounding yourself with aren't the people who are constantly trying to pull you out of what you're trying to do because they want your time. They're comfortable. I put a post up a couple of days ago. People are comfortable with where you're at. They ain't comfortable with where you're going. When you start going there, that means they either have to level up or they got to watch you go crush it while they sit back and do nothing. Don't be around those people. Get rid of those. Put them off to the side. Spend time with them when you got your mind right, because they're not going anywhere and they're not going to like it when you change. Okay. That's part of your winning mentality. You have to be around the people who are going to allow and cheer you on when you are doing the winning. Last but not least, I will tell you in the 21-day challenge next month, Sydney is doing TikToks. I can see what she's building. It is absolutely domination. If you want to be a part of that because you really want to get on the TikTok bandwagon, understand and learn how to do them and be challenged for 21 days, you definitely want to be a part of that. The following month, I just know the next 2 months, that's why I'm going to tell you guys what they are. The following month, I'm going to take over. And Sydney's going to help me. We're going to do free. It's going to all be about free. No, there is a charge to the 21-day challenge. It's all about free programs, though. We're going to teach you all the free tools that are out there that we know about so that you can utilize them in your business, not have to pay for them unless you want to upgrade into things, so you have more bells and whistles in them. But we're going to teach you about all of those free programs. We have a whole list of them. It's going to be mind-blowing. You're going to love it. It's going to be all tools that you can keep in your toolbox and know how to use them. So if you and your teams need stuff like that, that will be a challenge for you. All right, I'm done for the day. I hope that I got some really good stuff, some really good notes. I hope you create your to-do list. If it's not the template that I use, go create your own. Just take it off sticky notes because you're going to lose those. And if you have not gone and listened to the book Born to Win, please, I urge you to put it at least on your list for this year. You will be amazed at how amazing that book is. You'll be amazed at how amazing that book is. That was really good. Just take that as a note for today. All right, guys, have a fabulous week. We'll see you on Wednesday.